Hello, MTA member. We are officially in the third week of the governor's stay-at-home order, and we wanted to give you an update as to what we as your MTA team are doing on your behalf regarding not only the COVID mitigation period, but also the legislative objectives that we had for 2020. And the good news is that trucking is essential. The governor's been put in a position where he had to make a lot of really difficult decisions using a tool called peacetime emergency. That emergency was extended just today, April 13th, for one more month. The stay-at-home order, as you know, I'm sure, was extended until May 4th. He did that in the middle of last week. But because the trucking industry and its vendors were declared essential, workers are able to freely come and go to work, go about their business, and so forth. We understand, though, that some of your shippers are asking drivers to wear masks and other PPE. We're working on trying to procure some of that equipment, or at least find vendors who may have it and would be willing to supply it to the trucking industry. Specific to the MTA priorities we went into 2020 with, like so many other organizations who advocate at the Capitol, we may not have much of an audience anymore. The legislature is unable to meet in person. There are some virtual meetings taking place, but it's incredibly difficult for legislators to hear from the public and from experts like MTA board members who regularly come and provide testimony at the Capitol. So it's very difficult for them to make any policy decisions and feel comfortable about that. So I suspect that this session is going to probably largely be done remotely from here on out, and it will probably mostly focus on COVID mitigation related policy. I do think, though, that there's going to be a significant bonding bill. And because of that, one of our top priorities was securing some funding for additional truck parking at a couple of truck stops in the state of Minnesota. And so that's groundwork that's already been laid, and we continue to work with our legislative champions and our authors on advancing that initiative. In addition, it seems like the economic news for Minnesota, which was very good, as a February forecast came out, we had north of $1 billion in surplus revenue sitting on the bottom line. But we found out today from the Minnesota Management and Budget that revenue collection from February and March was down at least 4%. And we don't know yet what the total costs to the system are going to be because many of the costs that the state will reimburse not only through unemployment insurance, but hospitals and other potential businesses and forgiven loans and those sorts of things have yet to be tallied up. So I think it's safe to say at this point that the regular Minnesota legislative session this year is probably going to, from this point forward, focus almost exclusively on COVID-19 and a bonding bill of substance. Many legislators will look at that as an opportunity to kickstart the economy once the stay-at-home order is loosened or eliminated. In the meantime, until we have another video, please don't hesitate to contact us and let us know if you have any questions.